Hey guys, Half Click up here with a fresh Yamaha FZ6R tutorial. Today we're going to change our oil. Let's dive right in. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that you let the bike come up to temperature, because you want the engine oil to be hot enough to where it'll flow freely through the various passages and valleys. That way when you go to drain the oil, you're ensuring that you get most of the oil out as possible. Now you're also going to want to make sure that the bike is upright and level during this operation, so a rear stand is your friend. Next, you'll want to remove your left side fairing, which is secured by various button bolts. However, if you have any accessories on your fairings, in my case the frame slider, you want to remove those first. So start by removing these two lower fairing button bolts. There's 4 in total. You only need to remove the 2 on the left side in order to release the fairing itself. Pro tip, turn your wheel so that you can get to these bolts easier. Now those 2 bottom bolts and these 3 upper bolts are all a 4mm hex head. And next you have 3 larger 5mm button bolts, 1 here and 2 down below. Now with all the bolts removed, your fairing is free to come off, but you need to be mindful of the blinker cable that's right behind here that's held in with a clip. So when you remove the fairing, you want to carefully unclip it from the cable stay. Bring it down, and with a little bit of slack, you want to unclip the connector, which is kind of tucked up underneath here. There's a tab that you lift with your fingernail and pull at the same time. Now your fairing is free and clear. Place your oil catch basin into position. Of course, making sure that the plug is removed so that the oil drains into the basin. Now I always also tuck a catch rag up underneath here, because there's going to be some residual that comes down and it just prevents a mess. Now your oil drain plug is a 17mm. Just break it free and get ready for the flow. Voila! Look at all that old mow tool. This bike was due for an oil change. Now you see where your catch rag comes into play, because it's going to want to drip on the lip of the pan. I like to avoid that. Now to speed up that drain process, you can also open up the cap, let it breathe, it'll help the flow. Now as our oil finishes the draining process, I also like to tuck one right next to the first, because the oil filter spillage is going to make a little bit of a mess as well. I like to try and avoid that. If you use an oil filter like the High Flow RC204, or I'm sorry, 204RC, it has a removal nut built into it. The K&N filter also features the same advantage. Just pop that guy out of there. And looks like we missed some spillage back there on the header. Try and take care of that. Now you want to go ahead and clean your mating surfaces. First where the oil filter goes, and then where the drain plug will go. Get those nice and clean. Go ahead and put our drain plug back in. Now Yamaha calls for a crush washer. My bike actually didn't come with a crush washer, and I have never used one and never had a problem. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't use a crush washer. Just know that apparently over a 9-year riding career on this machine, the crush washer is not actually necessary. There is a torque spec for this. I go hand tight. Now, along with the installation and removal nut feature that the high flow filter has, again that's HF204RC, it also comes pre-oiled. Super handy. You don't have to worry about dipping down into an open quart to lubricate the gasket. It's already done for you. Just pull the cover, throw it away, put the filter on. You should feel zero resistance here. Make sure you don't cross thread it. It should spin on nice and easy. And give her a little tightening via the nut. That'll do. Your oil capacity is 2.97 quarts, or plus or minus roughly 3 liters. I go with Motul 7100 4T 10W40 weight. And by the way, the reason why I go with Motul is that it is a premium synthetic ester technology oil that provides the best high temperature shearing protection, as well as the smoothest clutch engagement that you're looking for. I Motul all the things. Always have, always will. Now, as you go to put your cap back in there, it's worth a look at the rubber gasket. Make sure it is intact and present. Done. Our oil change is complete. Now, one final thing that I like to do before we button her all back up is start the bike, let it run, and verify that you don't have any weird leaks going on. Good to go. And that's it, guys. Oil changes on the FZ6R are actually quite simple and not very time consuming at all. If you have any questions about the procedure or anything, just drop a comment down below. Smash the like button if you like this kind of tutorial content, and subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, this has been me, and that's been you. It's Half Click Up. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Goodbye.